Ford and the UAW have made progress, but other automakers haven't been as lucky yet. As we wait to find out if GM and the UAW reach a tentative agreement, we turn to editor-in-chief of Headlight.news, Paul Eisenstein, to get his thoughts on the latest developments. Thanks for being with us, Paul. I'm used to having you with me here at the desk. This is strange.
I know. I'm a little feeling lonely out here on Zoom.
Yeah, so what does it mean to have both sides negotiating through the night into the early morning hours to you?
It's clearly a good sign. The general sense is that GM may be the first to move, in part because most of the management team of Stellantis is over in Paris, so it adds a little bit of a time and distance lag. But I think right now they're both they have a pattern. They know what is going to go out to Ford workers. And if they were expecting to be able to cut that, give a slightly lesser raise, cut back on benefits and retirement improvements and so on, I think at this point the message has gone across pretty clearly. It wouldn't fly with the rank and file. They could get a cheaper settlement and they'd probably get it voted down.
We just had a live report from Alicia Bergio, and we've been hearing whispers all day of that tentative agreement between GM and the UAW. It sounded like the workers on strike behind her had certainly heard those same whispers. Do you think they'll make an announcement tonight, wait till the weekend? What's your gut instinct there?
It's possible they could move on it fairly quickly. I think that both the manufacturers, GM and Stellantis, would like to start getting workers ready to go back as soon as possible. And you touched on something in one of the reports a moment ago. Yes, some of the workers over at Ford Wayne are back in the plant, starting to look around, see what they need to do. But the report is correct. To get the entire operation, all the struck plants of back up and running at normal speed is probably going to take as much as a month. So anytime that the GM and Stellantis folks can move forward, particularly on a weekend, I think they'd be very happy to just get this over with.
In the UAW's eyes, Ford may be a bit of the golden child at the moment, just being the first to come to a tentative deal. What pressure do you think that had, if any, on GM? How much do you think they came up in this tentative agreement?
Well, we saw GM, a week or so ago, say enough is enough, we can't give any more. And it was, I think, 21% of a raise they were offering. And then a few days later, they went to 23. So, their bottom line has not been their bottom line. I cannot see them coming in with raises that are any lower. There will be changes. You have to understand that historically there have always been unique details that differ from Ford to GM to what used to be Chrysler, that reflect the unusual, unique elements of each automaker. But when it comes down to the most important things, notably wages, they're almost always going to have a pattern. In other words, an essentially identical set of contracts.
Let's say this tentative deal does happen with GM and the UAW, and we already know things are looking pretty solid with Ford right now. Was this enough time for other automakers to get an advantage? You and I have talked in the past about Tesla and other companies. What do you think? Yeah. 6 weeks, what advantage did that bring?
Well, the automakers have been lucky in that the UAW has been cautious in how it's gone about this stand-up strike. It's been limited in what it's gone after. Only very late in the game did it target the most important plants that those automakers operate, such as Ford's Louisville plant, where they build the most profitable vehicles they have, the big F-150 models. And of course, heavy duty trucks were the targets most recently at Stellantis and GM. So the amount of production lost has been relatively minor. Yeah, there will be some brief shortages depending on how long it takes to get these plants up. But I don't think that shortages will be the big advantage for the competitors. It's the cost increase, the labor cost increase in particular, that the domestic automakers have to worry about. Now, one more thing. We expect historically to see that, we have seen historically, that the transplants owned by foreign manufacturers have increased their wages just short of what Detroit comes up with after UAW negotiations. They want to keep those workers happy. I expect to see Toyota, BMW, Hyundai, and all the others will increase some of their pay and benefits to make sure that they stay attractive to workers and avoid having a good organized union drive at those plants.
Really quick, just throw out a number 1 through 10. How much pressure do you feel Stellantis is feeling right now that we have 2 out of the 3 tentative deals?
Oh, to Stellantis, if they're the last, it would be all the way up to 11.
All right. Thank you, Paul. We always appreciate your insight. Next time, need you here in studio.
Look forward to it.
All right. Thanks so much.